We are waiting for you to start. Next one.
Serial number 8, case number 9, Sri Lucky Vajani.
Yes, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, this is a case of capital gain,
Yes.
and initially I claimed under section 54. Then during the assessment, claimed under 54, yes. And plus I made a investment.
Capital gain on what?
Penny stock matter?
No, it's a capital gain. Your Honor, I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah, start with the basic
Yeah.
facts of the case.
Your Honor, the assessee has entered the MOU on 10 March 2009 with the developer called Great Builders. And after the MOU, assessee agreed to make investment in SR project being carried on by the said developer. Your Honor, I will take to the page number 2 of the assessment order,
Yes.
where my investment pattern is written, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
I've initially after entering into MOU, I made an investment of 23,50,000. That is in 18/11/2009. Then 10/11 made another investment of 50,000, and 12/13 I made an investment of 90,000. Overall, my total investment was 1,70,00,000 lakh. Your Honor, as per the MOU, against the investment made with the assessee, developer assigned the right to the assessee to acquire a residential flat of about 2,000 square foot saleable area in the said SRA project. MOU is, however, not registered document, Your Honor. MOU is understanding between the.
It is not a registered paper.
Not a registered document.
Okay.
The MOU provided the assessee will have the right to selection of the flat, that is floor, directions, etc. before the same is offered to outsiders. The MOU also provided that in case if assessee wishes to surrender the flat in future, he has to first offer the same to the developer as a right of first refusal. Means he has to surrender back to the builder only. If the builder doesn't take it, then he can sell outside.
Okay.
The assessee was free to transfer the same to another person. On 10/7/2012, assessee was issued a provisional letter of allotment in continuance of the right acquired by wide MOU.
So the MOU was in March 2009.
Your Honor, this is a continuation MOU. This is not a fresh
No,
document.
I'm just noting the facts. I'm not on arguments. I'm just noting some facts. That 10th March there was an MOU.
10th March 2009 was a MOU.
And the letter of allotment was on 10th July 2012.
Yeah. I like to add, Your Honor, even this is also not a registered document. This is the internal agreement between me and this.
So none of the documents as of now till now has been registered. Fair enough. Check.
Where this letter of an exact flat was identified as flat number 4001 on 40th floor of the building, which was still under construction. And wide agreement dated 28th March 2013. So this is the transaction which is executed now.
The assessment here 13/14.
Yeah.
And the transfer has taken place on.
Assessee has surrendered the right to acquire flat to the developer for a consideration of 2 crore 10 lakh. That means I surrendered my right back to the builder because against his right of first refusal, and he gave me 2 crore 10 lakhs. In the return of income, Your Honor, I showed a long-term capital gain of 93 lakh. In that, unfortunately, while filing the return, even the indexation benefit was not claimed. Full 93 difference was shown as a long-term capital gain.
Indexation benefit not claimed.
Initially not claimed, and during the assessment, I rectified it. I gave the index, and index gain was only 83 lakhs 57,616.
Okay.
Your Honor, against this receipt, I have invested in another flat. The purchase a residential flat where agreement dated 30/12/2013 for a total purchase cost of 1 crore 91 lakh.
This is the same flat or another flat?
Another flat.
Another flat.
That has surrendered because that is under construction. The right has surrendered, and
So both are different agreements.
yeah, this is
It was not switch over from one asset to the other asset.
So it's totally different builder and different agreement and
Okay.
different purchase. And 1,90,000 flats under construction flat in a prestigious builder project about a real builder. That is a totally different person.
Okay.
As I made the earlier mention, this once again this is recorded in the page 3 of the assessment order, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
So I made on financial year 10/11 I made the investment of 1 crore 5 lakhs, 11/12 63 lakh 50,000, and 12/13 12 lakhs, and 13/14 prior to filing of related return.
So even prior to you sold the earlier asset.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. This is under construction. I made
Prior to sale, you have made some investments.
Yes, Your Honor, and that I'm within the limits.
No, that we'll discuss later on. I am just noting the facts.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the original writ of income, ancillary claim exemption of 54 in respect of long-term capital gain arising out of the surrender of the above right to the developer. This was a mistake, Your Honor, because I was the claimant to pure F, because this is not a ready flat, it is a right. So, because of lack of knowledge, as he has claimed under.
So what was sold was a right.
It was a right.
The transfer was the capital asset which was transferred was a right.
Yeah, right. Because
Not a residential flat.
Yeah, because it is not converted into residential property yet. It was under construction SRA, it is in the development stage.
Okay.
So it's a right. Initially, I was under the impression, as it was under the impression that is equivalent to flat, so he claimed under 54. However, during the post-assessment proceeding, assessing officer made an observation that surrender to developer cannot be said to be transferred to residential house since the flat was not yet ready and also not registered agreement was entered with the developer. At this juncture, SSC changed its claim from 54 to 54 F.
Okay.
As per the first contention, yes, surrender right. I rectified my contention. My exemption is still eligible, but it is not 54.
So now you are claiming 54F.
Yes, sir.
You are not claiming 54 at all.
No, not 54. I am claiming 54 F, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, the EO did not accept the claim of SSC on following grounds. In the opinion of the EO, the amount of 93 lakh is not taxable under the capital gain, but taxable under the income from other sources. Your Honor, here I would like to explain, Your Honor. It is my investment which I made in that property, which has yielded me some income. In any stretch of imagination, it cannot be income from other sources, Your Honor. It can be either capital gain or a capital receipt. And I am not claiming that it's a capital receipt, I am claiming it's a capital gain. And he was telling income from other sources, which.
On what ground he is saying so? He is saying probably that the amount, the thing which you have transferred, there was no capital asset is
Your Honor,
you are just getting additional compensation, whatever you paid, and you are getting something more than that. So the difference is taxing.
Yeah, his contention is that because none of the agreements or papers are registered, you can't say that it is a capital asset. It is your regularly you have donated something, you got something in return excess, that should be under residual cost, it should go in the income from other sources. But I have established, Your Honor, with the MOU and all the documents, which is not contradicted by the AO, established that it is a investment made by me. When the investment made by me, the return, whatever comes, it should be either capital gain or a capital receipt. It cannot be income from other sources, Your Honor. Then second, with the previous name, AO contended that even if capital gains, the same is short-term capital gains in the letter of allotment dated 10/7/2012 and also that a maximum payment was 12/30. Your Honor, he would like to ask, that is what initially I established.
Yes.
The letter of allotment is the extension of MOU. Because when the MOU was signed, that time the exact project size and size number of flats, etc., everything, nothing was known. So that time, since I made investment earlier, I agreed with him that I got a right to get allotted any of the flats which is approximately 2,000 square foot. So this letter of allotment is the extension of that one. It is not a new document. And I made a payment against the MOU also. So you can't say that the letter of allotment should be the date
Your
of
total
acquisition.
your total investment is 1,17 lakh. And maximum investment has been made post letter of allotment, if I see.
Your Honor, but I established a right in 2009 and I paid by way of check.
How much? 20%. Roughly 30%.
Your Honor, in the SRA project, if you go by the general terminology, nobody pays full amount initially because it takes a lot of time. I am investing, I know the builder, I am investing and I am taking that risk. So I can't put the full 100% money to it.
Merely by making investment of 26 lakhs rupees, do you think you have got the right to acquire a flat of 2,000 square feet? Can you acquire it that way?
I have not acquired, Your Honor. I again gained the right to acquire. I am now talking with the right. And the right is established when the MOU was signed in 2009. And my AO is telling that it is because a letter of allotment is 12, I will take the date as 12. Your Honor, it cannot be because unless
and until the flat is allotted to you, how it can be your right to acquire that particular flat?
Your Honor, if you go through Your Honor, it's the page number 32 of the paper book. You can go through the letter of allotment.
Yes.
And it refers to as per the terms of MOU dated 10th March 2009. Your Honor, this is not an independent of first document. This is a continuation of the earlier document. My
So
right
your
is-
contention is that
My right is established in 2009, which is agreed by both parties, is not contradicted, and only the letter of allotment is a confirmation of that right, which is converted into specified flat. Earlier it was my total area, now it is a specified flat. That is the only difference, Your Honor.
So
My
does
right is
that
already-
MOU, does that MOU dated 10th March 2009 was of a nature that you obtained a right, you could have obtained a specific performance?
Yes, Your Honor. That is what it is. I got a specific performance. It says that I got a right to acquire residential flat of about
Yeah, but
2,000 square foot.
have you gone through the provisions of specific relief act? Does that MOU confine to the parameters of specific relief act
Your
that
Honor,
in such a
that-
situation,
Your Honor,
parties
Your
may
Honor,
write anything in the contract?
Yes, Your Honor. But as long as both the parties agree to it, I did not go to any other. There is no dispute on the fact. The builder is agreeing to give me the right, and I am agreeing, and he has told he has surrendered the right. Nobody has questioned my right. When the right is not questioned, I need not go to the relief act or anything because it is
No,
mutual
no, my
agreement.
question is that, was that agreement of such a nature that had in case builder would have refused, you would have been able to enforce it by way of specific performance under specific relief act.
When you
Whether your
enter-
right was of such nature. That is my question.
So the question which
Maybe, but even if I'm not able to release that actual definitely sued for him and got my money back. That is not, he cannot deny. He may deny the allotment of flat because by taking any plea he can, but he can't deny the investment made. And now, Your Honor, why we are going to that direction? Now, I am telling this right that is agreed by both parties. When the right is agreed by both parties, it's
No,
established.
because yours case is that in 2009 you did not acquire any right. His case is that without prejudice to his contention that it is other sources, his contention that you obtained a right only on letter of allotment.
Your Honor,
So the bank wants to know what was the difference between this 2009 document and 2012 document.
There is
Which
only,
document?
Your Honor, the only difference between these two documents is now with the letter of allotment, my flat is identified and specified. Earlier, only the
So
area.
factually it is different, but you want to say legally both have the same.
Legally and spiritually, it is the same, Your Honor. And plus, Your Honor,
No,
basic.
spiritual things.
I mean, look, Your Honor, I mean, in
So what has CID appeal done in this case?
no, the other facts. Then how do you?
Your Honor, there is one more thing you was telling is I can't change the claim from 54 to 54 and he has supplied Goiz India to 54. Your Honor, Goiz India doesn't come because it's either 54 or 54 it's the same thing. I'm not increasing my claim anymore. It's only my mistake of understanding the law that instead of 54 years, I claim 54. That much benefit of doubt should be given to me, Your Honor.
Did you?
Plus, Your Honor,
you could not revise the return, right?
I did not revise the return. Plus, Your Honor, this is a legal ground. This can be taken by me anytime. That is the court. Various legal.
Just please, carry on.
Yeah. Now, the investment in the new flat, it was stated that even if the exemption is permissible, maximum investment which can be considered is for an exemption is 18,50,000. Since the investment made up to 11-12 are outside the time limit of 1 year prior to the date of transfer of original asset. Your Honor, here it is not a question of purchase, it's a question of delay, construction. I purchased under construction flat, so time limit extends to 2 years, and I have claimed
3 years.
3 years, and I have claimed what is within the time limit that is prescribed.
No, but earlier investment also. Can you claim? Now come to CID appeal. What is the CID appeal finding?
CIT appeal has in total rejected all my claims, Your Honor. So I just put my argument to summarize. I'll put my argument like this, Your Honor. Firstly, the transfer of right to acquire property in the project of great builders resulted into capital gains, and the same is long-term capital gain as per the considering date of MOU. We have discussed that, Your Honor. There is because my right is established in 2009, and the MOU is the valid which is the establishment which is agreed by all the parties. It should be long-term capital gain. It is not a case of short-term capital gain or other income from other sources. The difference received cannot be treated income other sources. If it is not held as capital gains, it should be considered capital receipt. And I am not arguing on the capital receipt, Your Honor, because I am admitting it that I made a gain. I am ready to pay the tax on that as per the provisions, and I am saying it's a capital gain. So exemption should have been considered under 54, not under 54. Your Honor, I made a legal error in that, which I am rectifying, and that curating the rights should be allowed to me at any time of the assessment, Your Honor, in the courts also. It's a legal ground, it is not a factual.
So you are relying on Prithvi stockbrokers to contend that the appellate authorities are having the power to go into the claim?
Legal chain.
The legal chain, even if it is not done by the AO?
Yes.
The Boyers India might prevent AO but not the appellate authority. That is what you want to contend?
Yeah, that is my condition. Your Honor, I want to say that Boyers India do not come here because I am not changing any claim. My
It is a change of section.
Change of section.
Change of section.
Claim is already there.
Claim is already, claim is established either way. And indexation benefit not claimed through oversight, but the same shall be allowed without computing capital gain. Your Honor, I am not pressing this ground because under 54F, whether it is when I claim under 54F, what is important is what I invest and result. I know there is marginal difference because my investment falls short by some 20 lakhs. To that extent, I get the indexation benefit. It's minor.
So you are happy with even if the indexation is not given to you?
Your Honor, I am not going to argue because it's a small amount, but I'd like you to consider that because even small
If you
amount.
don't argue, how can we consider that?
Your Honor,
You don't want to argue, you want us to adjudicate on that.
You can't do your job.
Your Honor, I say that indexation benefit should be given to me, although I made an error. I go by the same thing as curative rights, which is available to me in any part of any time of the litigation. I should be allowed the indexation. Your Honor.
Maybe the indexation was not claimed by the assessee, only on the ground. Maybe there was something at the back of the mind of the assessee that yes, this is not a long term and therefore I am not going to get indexation.
Your Honor,
Is that so?
Your
Because
Honor,
otherwise, why would anybody not claim the indexation? This is a very preliminary thing. They would claim indexation
Your
first and
Honor,
foremost.
Your Honor, the ground realities are different because assessees, when they file the return, we go in the last minute and show it to anybody and get it filed. That time they don't apply their mind. And this type of intelligence which you are expecting from assessees is not.
So the returns are filed by the chartered accountants. The assessee never files his return.
They have to be vigilant about their rights. If they sleep on their rights, they cannot come
So
to the
there is
tribunal.
one suspicion which comes in the mind. Why he didn't claim indexation? The chartered accountant who is filing the return, probably he also had something in his mind that this is likely to be short term and therefore did not claim indexation, and now you are turning back and coming and claiming indexation, claiming 54, 54F.
No, Your Honor.
All complex
No, Your Honor,
mechanisms.
Your Honor, there is fundamental mistake because had he shown us, had the internship in short term, he did not have claimed under 54 F. Because 54, you don't get 54 benefit in short term.
So in the return it was claimed 54.
Yeah, return he has claimed 54, though he was very clear that it's a long term capital gain. There is no doubt. Only indexation, he missed out.
Missed out.
Your Honor,
Okay, point taken. Please proceed.
This one.
You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the entire investment made in the residential purchased from real data file for exemption because it's a case of construction, not a case of residential house. This year already.
How do you say it is a construction?
It's under construction. I booked the flat, Your Honor. Whether I consult myself.
Any authority to support your proposition?
That's the building under construction.
Any settled principle? Can we have the benefit of some decision, some circular, something where this bench is already overburdened. If you can help us in finding some citation, we'll be
Your Honor,
very happy.
I go with the decision of CAT versus Hilavadia. CAT versus Hilavadia in case 269 here Bombay. Your Honor, the paper I filed a paper book of the case laws.
Doesn't matter. Citation is sufficient.
I given the gist.
No, citation is sufficient. Learned counsel.
Then I go with that judgment, Your Honor, whichever thing.
Anything else?
Your Honor, even if I go by that, if it is 54F or 54, if it is 54F is not allowed. There is a circular, CBD circular dated 4 Sunday dated 15th and 86, which allows me, and also circular 600 dated 15th and 93.
That is something connected to DDA, Delhi Development Authority.
Yes, Your Honor, but it says me that letter of allotment itself allows me claim under 54.
Here you are going to MOU, not even letter of allotment. So,
Your Honor, MO is letter of allotment continuous claim. But I am not, my basic condition is it for F should be allowed. But even this case also I am covered by circular, that's what I am referring to, Your Honor.
and what about the quantum of benefit? Now see, look at the investment. The investment you made.
Your Honor, in case of 54F, in the quantum, ultimately there will be some reduction. And
No, I'm on different proposition. My point is,
Which year's investment will be eligible? That is my brother's question.
Yeah, that is, I would go with the Hilabade judgment. That clarifies my case, Your Honor.
no. So, Hilabaya says it is a construction.
Yeah.
We accept that proposition.
Right.
Suppose if we accept that proposition, we are not committing anything, but if we accept that proposition, then how do you address the situation where the AOI is saying that even if it is accepted, the benefit of 54F which you will get will be only vis-a-vis the investment which you made post the transfer of the capital asset and not pre-transfer of capital asset, because pre-transfer of capital asset you already made some investment. Now, how do you address that particular part of the situation?
Your Honor, law is very clear on that, and the AOS totally misconceived its conception. Law is very clear.
What does the law say?
It's 3 years, the total period is given to me, and within 3 years
So,
I spent.
post the transfer of asset,
Yeah, it is not a post, it's free also. It tells us free also.
no, when you are making a construction, please refer to the decision of Sagar Nitin Parikh. I think it has been cited by the CIT appeal, or maybe the AO, one of the two, which says that this is a case of construction. Of course, there is one proposition. It also talks that once it is a construction, right now the amount which is invested. Post, look at the section 54F. It says that the assessee can make investment. You can take that.
It's okay.
The section says that the investment made after the transfer of the capital asset will qualify. What about the investment made prior to transfer of the capital asset? How do you get that? Because within 3 years you can make the investment. That I appreciate. That is, of course, after the transfer. In construction, you cannot have the construction before the before the transfer of the capital.
Read the fourth line of 54F subsection 1.
Your Honor, the judgment of I refer to the judgment of CH.
Just read that fourth line of subsection 1.
Your Honor, there is no. I refer to the judgment of CH was HK Kapoor that Allahabad High Court 234 ITF 753. That allows me.
What does that say?
It allows me construction before also.
Now, learned counsel, there are two aspects of this. Just read subsection 1 of 54F, the fourth line, after the bracket portion.
Yes, Your Honor. And the assessee has within the period of 1 year before or 2 years after the date.
Just read it further.
On which the transfer took place, purchased or has within a period of 3 years after that date constructed.
So wait.
So the construction
assessee has within a period of 3 years after that date constructed. So there are two propositions. Number one, scenario where I begin the construction prior to the date of transfer, but it is completed after the date of transfer.
Right.
Whether that will be allowed or not. And the Allahabad High Court judgment which you are saying, Allahabad High Court says that even if your construction is started prior to that, if it is completed within 3 years, you are eligible for exemption. But the second aspect to be answered, which remains unanswered in my opinion in that judgment, is what will be the amount of investment which will qualify for this? Whether only the investment after the date of your transfer or even the investment prior to the date of your transfer. Whether even that will qualify for exemption under 54F, that is not answered by Allahabad High Court.
Yes, Your Honor. That is not addressed directly in the Act also. It is the Act referred to the investment. So my total investment should be considered. That's my plea, Your Honor. I submit that my total investment should be considered because there is nothing against me also in the Act and not in the judgment also. Although I may not be finding.
No, how do you interpret the word within? As within a period of 3 years. So can I say within a period would be the beginning point could be anything prior?
Overall, Your Honor, what I submit is it should be overall 3 years. Overall, within 3 years, I should complete that. From the beginning to end, within 3 years, I should.
So even if I begin a construction 10 years prior to this date,
It's
and
not
I
10
complete
years.
now within 3 years, I'm just saying,
3 years.
no, 1 year is for
We'll
purchase.
hear only AR. Please. We cannot have so many ARs, we have only two. We'll hear only AR and DR. No other numbers. No interveners, please. Yes, please.
Your Honor, because the payment made earlier also, up to 3 years I got. I should be within the 3 years window. From beginning to
Exactly.
end,
So
I should invest.
within that 3 years,
I'm
whatever
within the-
investment you made, that you will be eligible. Whatever
Your Honor,
investment
my
you made
total-
prior to that date,
No, total 191 is falling within the window, Your Honor. That's it.
after the date of transfer.
Yeah. No, overall 3 years.
No, only 12, 13, that 90 lakhs will fall in that. Na?
No, 18 lakh 50,000. This is the transfer.
Is the transfer.
This one.
Only 18 lakh 50,000. 1 crore 5 lakh and 67.5 lakhs that you have invested in 10, 11, 11, 12.
Your Honor, I go back to the judgment of Hilabi, which is Mumbai Court, which says that payment made before also covers. And afterwards, payment made after, there is nobody has contested here. Before it is covered by Hilabi, with the Mumbai Court.
We'll hear the DR.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor,
Anything else?
Conclude, I'll say that when it shifts from 54 to 54 here, there will be some taxability. That you may please give the direction to calculate accordingly, Your Honor. So I'm
Fair enough.
ready to pay that.
Fair enough. We'll hear the DR, please.
So just hello. Hello. So
Is he audible?
Starting.
Is he audible?
Yes. Yes.
DR, you are not audible. To the last line. Cordless ले लो. Cordless वाला ले.
Hello.
Yeah, now it's better.
Hello.
Anyways, take that. वो वाला ले लो.
Hello. So first I will start. Hello. First
Yes.
I will start that for the creating any interest in the immovable property, there has to be agreement should be registered. So section 17 of the Registry Act says that if any properties of rights is acquired, then it has to be registered. Further, if I am going the MOFA,
Section 17.
17 of the Registry Act,
Right.
second, the MOFA. MOFA said that my right is created when the letter of allotment is issued, and I have to give a letter of allotment against the advance received, and after 10% received, I should enter into the agreement.
That is the requirement of MOFA.
MOFA, that is a Maharashtra Ownership Flat Act.
So, and when does this apply? MOFA. Say, for example, in the given case, in his case, the agreement has not been entered. It is just a MOU and a letter of allotment. So, MOFA requires you to enter into a specific agreement at that time only,
Yeah.
or he can enter later on when he wants to exactly acquire the property.
No, MOFA is saying that before when you are just giving the first installment,
Yes.
there has to be a letter of allotment, and after giving the 10%, then the agreement should be entered.
As provided with MOFA.
MOFA.
Okay. So, we'll consider that one.
In this case, the SSC has given 26,50,000 on 11 November 2009. And in MOU, there was no specific that which floor is there, which plan is passed or not plan. Just it is a basically, I can say it is a basically investment. The generally SSC, generally the investor are investing in the builder's property, and they are getting some agreed percentage or not agreed percentage, but they are only investing and they are creating this MOU for as a safety. So basically, it is because there is no thing. I am just taking the circular number 672. This circular number 672 is also mentioned in by actually 471. It says that my right is created in the property. I will just give the citation of judgment also from the date of letter of allotment. So my timings
Which circular which?
circular 672.
It says what?
Read with
Read with 471.
471.
Yes.
Just I am reading.
That is what he has also cited. You are like referring to the same circular.
Yeah, same circular, sir.
Okay.
It says circular wide 672 after referring circular 472.
Yes.
Extended the facility of exemption under section 54 and 54 F in respect of allotment of flat house. Thus, as per the CBDT circular also, the SSC required to the right and title in the flat by way of allotment letter. And this allotment letter was duly confirmed by the SSC by making various payments. So basically, there should be letter of allotment where the schedule of payment is also in. Here the SSC is given 26 lakhs on one date, then is amount so, and the final amount is already paid in the last year. So here even if I am not saying that it is not income from other sources, then it is a short-term capital.
No, we'll come to that later. But do you want to address? Do you want to go back to the AO's contention that is income from other sources?
Yeah,
Is the AO justified in saying so? Are you agreeing that it is under capital gains?
So my first contention it is income from other sources because the way of the SSC has done the transaction, then it seems that there was no MOU. Letter of allotment is only for the dress up for final when he is going to get the amount. Because I say interest amount or something, the amount is receivable. He is make all the things after the thought is there. So it is not the basically sort of capital gain, it is basically interest.
But there is no observation or finding of the AOP.
But there is my first condition, income from other sources.
Okay.
Without prejudice, I am saying that my right is created when the letter of allotment, and there's even circular said that they are giving facility. So it is not the thing. This extended facility exemption under section 5454F, that my right is created only after when I have received the letter of allotment. And as we see here, the basically MOU without any stamp paper, letter of allotment in the year in which they have received the consideration. So if I am not considering income from other sources, then it is a short-term capital gain because my right vested when the letter of allotment I have received. So even though my second condition, it is a short-term capital gain. To support this decision, this is my contention. I am relying on the Indo Tribunal. ACID versus Sanjay Kamath. It's reported in 42textment.com 38.
ACI to Sanjay Kamath.
Yeah.
It says it will be, what does this say?
It says here what happened, the SSC has received the letter of allotment on certain date.
Rana, I'm not given the copy of that.
We'll see that justice is done. Don't interrupt him, please.
Mr. AR, you also relied on several cases.
I've given the submission of paper to.
No, at least don't interrupt the DR. Let him. He's also a senior member of the department. Let us have some respect for the DR also. Let us hear him first.
Yeah.
We'll give the copy to you.
So just I'm reading what was held in that. The SSC was allocated flat in multi-story building by the.
No, just give us a ratio. Don't take us to the flat.
So here what happened, the SSC has given the letter of allotment and the assessing officer has not considered the letter of allotment and he is denied because there was no agreement, so he is not allowed to 54 and 54F. So the matter went to tribunal. When tribunal held, relying on the circular number 672, that it is a letter of allotment because department is saying that I am giving this facility. I am giving this facility, that letter of allotment also.
I think the controversy in that decision was whether letter of allotment date is to be seen or agreement date is to be seen.
Correct.
Right? So now here we are having a peculiar situation where there is something more than the letter of allotment. Prior to letter of allotment, there is an MOU which has been entered. And the contention of the SSC side is that the date of MOU is relevant rather than letter of allotment. They are also contending that the MOU letter of allotment is a continuation of the MOU. So probably the date of agreement, and we are not concerned with date of agreement.
So here the letter of allotment is very much concerned because letter of allotment, as per the MOPA, letter of allotment is the creating my right. And in letter of
so
allotment,
MOU does not give any right, you mean to say?
No, sir. Because sir, just I am going through the MOU, just go through the MOU.
Yes,
it only says that in so and so project you are entitled for 2,000 square feet. Nothing mentioned that how I am entitled, what is the schedule of this payment is there. Nothing is mentioned. Just I have paid 26,50,000 and I am entitled for this 2,000 square feet. So it is basically it is not allowed. Means it is not the record. Means they have to require to mention that what is the project is there, what is the schedule.
So you noted your point about MOFA. From MOFA, you are saying that letter of allotment is crucial.
Yeah.
Point noted, we will consider.
And sir, circular 672 is very much clear inside the letter of allotment, and you cannot consider MOU equate with a MOU with the letter of allotment. So that is my first argument in there.
Yes, please.
So second, we see the assessment here only is paid the
Yes, change
90
is
lakhs rupees.
Sorry?
He has the paid major amount in the year of transfer only.
Yes.
So even suppose without prejudice, if you are considering it is a capital asset created, it says that you exemption hereby. Suppose I am creating, I am just giving between 5 lakhs rupees.
They are okay with the indexation. They are saying that even if indexation is not given.
I am not going to that one, sir. I am just going to a point that suppose I am given to 5 lakhs rupees in 2009 and suppose the flat value is 3 crore rupees and I'm paying balance 2 crore 95 lakhs in 2019, and I can say that 3
Substantial
crore.
payment has been done later.
Yes, yes, yes. So
That is
only
it.
if
You are not indexation. You are not on indexation as of now.
no, not indexation. The last point will become.
You are saying it is short term. You are saying it is short term.
term. Even the last component, if you consider 26 lakh, so you have to give.
Can there be transfer of asset in different years?
Yeah.
So one will be short term, other will be long term. Can the asset be acquired multiple number of times? Can the asset be transferred multiple number of times? These are basic questions I would like to address.
Sir, in GST, one of the things my application.
We are not GST.
No,
We don't understand.
LNT, sir, the 2014 LNT, the Supreme Court decided that my right is not by one time. It is because it is the project under construction, so it will come by part. So it will not the thing that
So I keep on acquiring right every time I make a payment.
every time make a payment. So
That is the Supreme Court decision.
Supreme Court decision LNT.
And that is under GST law.
GST law, service tax law basically.
Okay.
So
About 54 to 54F.
yeah. So now I'm coming. Then in 54, basically 54, I'm okay that if the SSC can make the section change, and even I am just having the congratulation for purpose. But the things are that the investment should be done after the date of this thing. Means after the date of sale, because he said it should be completed within 3 years. So it should be start from the date of selling and within 3 years.
So the earlier investment will not be
will not
qualified.
be considered. And another thing is another 6,50,000 which he has made the investment is prior to filing the belated return. So if it is a belated return, it should be required before the due date of return. So he has done 6,50,000
Our
after
section says before filing return. It does not say before due date.
before the due date of filing the return.
Please read. And while my brother is looking at the section,
Okay.
I would like to draw your attention on two decisions. One is this, of course, is referred to Allahabad High Court, and there is one Tehsildar decision, and also one decision of Anshul Binjiyani, where the view has been taken that even the prior investment will be qualifying for the purpose of exemption. In fact, the decision of Anshul Binjiyani was argued by my brother when he was working on the other side as a professional. So it will be difficult for you to get that through this bench at least.
And sir, one more thing is just I want to convey that in the case of Hila, my learned friend relying on the Hila GB Varia. In that case,
You may please continue.
yeah. So in that case, the construction, so it should be considered as a purchase and not the construction, because in that case there was a co-owner property which are developed and given to them. So he was the owner of the property at that time. Here in this case, he is not become the owner of the property. He become the owner of property, so it is a purchase and not the construction. So whatever this thing is to be considered as construction and not the purchase.
Coming to 54F.
That is even their cases that it should be construction. You are saying it should be purchase.
Purchase. It should be purchase.
Coming to 54F4 again. 54F4 again. The section talks about before the date of furnishing the return of income under 139. It does not talk about 139.1. Even 139.4 is a date which is listed under 139. And there is a Jagruti Agarwal's decision which is taken a view. Of course, now I am aware that after the Bombay High Court, there is one more decision, Bombay High Court, which has said that the due date may be confined only to the date of the return.
Basically,
Not 139.1. It says 139.1, but in that case also, I think they have allowed to the date, belated return, to the date of filing the return, they have allowed in that case.
See, they are allowed because
Suleiman Merchant's case.
correct. But it should be section should be related, but in my view, the 54 and 54.
So that is a wishful thinking.
Correct. So here is my conclusion that it is not the long term, it is the short term. First, it is income from other sources. It is a long term, or long term, and short term, and all the diseases cited by the learned that is they are relied on the circular 672. Is basically the date of allotment and is important, not the date of MOU.
Fair enough. Anything else?
No.
You want to add something, sir?
Yes, sir.
Very quick and very
Yes.
crisp.
First of all, my learned friend has said that MOFA is applicable to me, and my whatever university is in SRA, and MOFA is not applicable to SRA, and the conditions of 10% booking, etc. That is as per RERA, and I started my transaction in 2009. That time RERA was not applicable.
The project is started in 2009. At that time, RERA was not applicable.
No.
RERA came in
project started-
2017.
Project started, no, I made investment in 2009. I don't have exact date of project start. But anyway, MOFA is not applicable to me, RERA is not applicable to me. So that condition of 10% payment.
MOFA is also enacted in which year?
Your Honor, MOFA is not covering the SRS. I'm covered under SRS. MOFA doesn't cover SRS.
MOFA doesn't cover it.
No, RERA covers. MOFA doesn't cover. Then regarding the register agreement, he's telling I don't have a register agreement. Your Honor, I have already established the right which on to both sides, which I already explained.
Is it enforceable in absence of registration?
Your Honor, you have already enforced. It is over and out.
No, it is because of the courtesy of the other person, the builder,
I
the
said,
developer.
Your Honor-
He is honored. But suppose if it was not honored, do you have any stand before the High Court?
Your Honor, now is I did not.
That he has already argued.
Yeah.
Stick to your rejoinder only to what he has found.
Yes,
Don't
Your Honor.
repeat your arguments again.
And regarding the, he's telling you by paying only 2650, how did you get the right? I need to take you to the 43 CA, Your Honor, where it says you have to make part of investment to that is 43 CA.
43 works to something, some different area.
Whatever, Your Honor, but it says that you have to invest some part to establish that you have made an investment. I am taking shelter in that sector, that section, because I need not pay 100%. If I pay any small part also, I am still eligible for the rights. I established
It will
rights.
be difficult for us to relate 43 CA, but anyway, we'll try to understand.
I am taking the shelter where
We'll try to
part
understand.
payment also gives me a right.
We will try to understand. Though it is slightly difficult proposition, we'll try to trouble our brains.
And yes, Your Honor, that 54 and 54 of and I submit my case.
Heard.
Sir, just one important
It
argument.
is his appeal, sir. You cannot.
Sir, one important argument.
Please understand, it is his appeal. Narendra, dear, please sit down. It is his appeal. You already said what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
If you want to say something further, you can please make a written submission. We will not spend time of the bench on this.
Okay.
Please, thank you. The next case.
Serial number 9, case number 10, Mr. Great Gambler.
Pronouns control. We'll have to apply our brains if any. Yes, in the meantime, you can start.
Are you prepared?
Because last time also you have taken adjournment. Last time I think cost was imposed upon you, I guess. Do you want to avoid this bench? Or do you want to avoid the judges, or do you want to avoid the matter, or what do you want to avoid? Or you want to avoid the client? My brother says, let us come to point. Yes, please. Please start.
I would like to explain the fact of my case.
Yes, please.
Appellate is a
Before you start, sorry to interrupt. I think we'll be probably running short of the bench time. So all other matters stand adjourned. The other council may take an adjournment, including one matter which was passed over, I think, where Ms. Radha was to appear. Now she's here, but I think we'll run short of time. So we'll grant an adjournment, take a suitable date, and we'll hear this matter last, please. Yes, please.
my appellate is a chemical trader. He has invested in shares, two listed shares, Money Multiplier Limited and Ekdas Limited. Ikadas Limited.
Is it Ekka Das? Yes, please continue. Yes, please.
By investing, he has earned long-term capital gain
Okay.
in both the streams, and his return of income he has offered as long-term capital gain. During the assessment proceeding, Aero has explained that he has received some investigation report, a study report saying that these two streams are a penny stock. and they are the bogus script. Everything has been stock exchange, price rigging, and everything has been manipulated in this bogus script. And he disallowed my claim under section 1038 of long-term capital gain exemption, and he has added under section 68.
So the addition is made under section 68. Okay. Yes, please
To
proceed.
this, I would like to submit, sir. In the investigation study report discussed in the assessment order, there is no direct link between the investment of my SSC and that investigation. There is no direct investigation, search, anything has happened to the appellant. Appellant is remotely not connected to that. He is a trader. He thought of investing into stock market. Having a tip,
What is his past history? Has he invested in past?
he has invested during Harshad Mehta time. But after that, he lost his lot of money, and now some good friend of his said now the government has changed, so he should start investing again.
Okay.
So he invested fresh. He started freshly, and luckily he earned long-term capital gain. But then the case was reopened, saying that these scripts are penny stock. And while investing, he invested as a normal investor, investing into it for the motive of earning dividend and for long-term capital gain. And now the assessing officer is.
What is the amount of dividend earned in both these scripts?
This year the company has not declared.
You said the motive was to earn dividend.
The motive is always there for the investor.
So motive was there, but didn't earn anything.
Yeah.
And it is a long term.
It is a long-term capital.
Fair enough.
And that also in very short duration he received, he was lucky to get that.
Yeah, please proceed.
So now my contention is that it's my exemption under section.
Can you take us through the facts of each case, both the companies? Can you please take us through the facts? When it was acquired, when it was transferred?
Yeah, surely, sir. Money Multiplier Limited, he invested rupees 1,50,000 by preferential allotment.
So it is a case of preferential allotment.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the payment was made through banking channel.
Payment made by check.
Check, yeah, and he sold his shares for 90 lakhs, earning capital gain long-term capital of 88 lakhs 50,000, and which was also received through his regular broker and through banking channel.
Okay.
You had received some information about the promoters.
So 150 became 90.
Yeah.
Great.
So during the assessment proceeding, all the documents, share certificate, demat account, everything was produced before the assessing officer, which is accepted. And
You said the broker is a regular broker.
Yeah.
But from the assessment order, we find that this person is not making investment. He has made only investment in some mutual funds and some small investment here and there. So how is connected with the broker? Is he having some connection with the broker?
The connection is that he had an account, but now he has started investing. Regular in the sense he was his broker for since long. Earlier also, then he stopped trading, investing in stock market.
So he is a regular broker, the only broker through whom you are dealing.
Yeah, generally. Yeah.
Okay. And there is no allegation against this particular broker. In the scam, in the SEBI investigation or anything, is there
nothing.
any observation against this particular broker?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Please proceed.
And in Ekadas Limited.
No, here there are some SEBI had launched inquiry against these promoters. You don't jump. Let us first finish on this one company. The SEBI had launched an inquiry. We are saying in the assessment order it is mentioned. The SEBI launched inquiry against the promoters and directors of the company and barred them from doing the market-related activities during the period of inquiry. So, is it a money laundering case where this promoters of this company are enabling everybody to earn this long-term capital gain? How do you address that?
We are not aware of what the activity director or promoters are doing about. After this reasons, what I received from the AO, I just came to know, my appellant came to know about what the directors have done. Because we are the normal small investor, we just go and investing.
It's a preferential allotment.
It's a preferential.
You're saying you are not aware of directors?
In case of preferential allotment also, sir, there are people who deals in preferential allotment saying that this company will be listed or it's a listed shares, and then there will be a bonus or something, and then I invested just a small amount of 1,50,000.
So mainly on the market rumors.
I took
Mainly on the market rumors you made an investment.
market rumor tips, yeah, generally. Generally.
Yes, please
Sometimes
proceed.
I watch CNBC also. This
Okay. Proceed.
So, so can I take the other one?
So now go to the Ekadas.
Haridas Limited, which was there at Calcutta.
It's a Kolkata company
It's a Calcutta listed company.
and having registered office at Kolkata only.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So Kolkata Exchange.
yeah. Cost of shares were 1 lakh.
Cost of share 1 lakh.
Which were
Okay.
paid in cash.
1 lakh paid in cash to a Kolkata company.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sales consideration were 80 lakhs.
1 lakh became 80 lakh in how many months? 15 months.
Yeah, 50
एक अस्सी हो गया
Huh?
एक अस्सी हो गया
हाँ जी चलिए. So 1 lakh became 80 lakh in 15 months to a Kolkata company to the investment for the investment which was made in cash.
Yeah.
Yes, please proceed.
And the capital gain was offered to tax under section 10.
Again, here we find that there is some search, income tax search
Yeah.
section, which is in which the directors have confirmed on oath that they are entered into price rigging.
Yeah.
And this is paid, and some 2% commission is also paid to people. So, do you want us to accept this? Can you? I mean, do you think that any bench will give on
See,
this?
the Appellate has sold the shares at the exchange. He is not anyway connected with the directors or their relatives. He is not-
When did you file your return of income of the earlier year? You were having sufficient cash on the cash book.
Yeah, I was having.
Sufficient cash was there.
3 lakhs. 3 lakhs.
And when was this return filed? After post sale of this asset or prior to sale of this
Yeah,
asset?
prior.
Within the normal due dates you
Yeah,
filed.
he is a genuine investor.
That is what you want us to believe.
That what I.
Please proceed. Please, I'm listening all these things. Please
Yeah.
proceed.
So, sir, it should be a long-term capital gain. Again, and the assessing officer is
Yeah, please.
assessing officer has just treated it as 68. It cannot be 68 because the source, because my regular broker has never been cross-examined. He has never been said to be a fraudulent broker or something. I have received to the banking channel. Section 68 itself says that the source of the receipt credit to the bank, which has been proved. But when I have sold the shares, my demat account has also been debited accordingly. That
Now,
is,
when did this come in debate? Both these shares.
both these shares, one of the shares was received in physical form, which was not done. First one, money multiplier was done immediately, and the
Immediately on purchase.
on purchase.
It came in the debate form only.
Yeah, and in Ekadas it was done prior to sale, 3 months.
Only 3 months prior to sale.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I had a physical.
the physical share certificate was
Yeah,
there.
I was holding, and it was also shown in my balance sheet of the previous year, both the shares.
Okay. So you are saying that the banking channel and everything is through demat and therefore.
Yeah, and all the documents, purchase contract, sale contract, bank account, everything is there. And nowhere in the investigation report my client has been linked, directly, indirectly. It is just because even in the AO has tried to explain the cash trail of the, it has not been.
AO did give some cash trail or not?
No, AO has assumed that it has happened. That-
So you are saying no
He
cash trail has
explained
been.
No
that-
cash
he
trail.
explained that modus operandi
Yeah, what is
general.
already in that study report. So
But no cash trail has been established.
no cash trail. And so
You were given the copy of that statement,
yeah.
director's statement.
The director's statement, the copy of the director's
So
statement.
I was on this.
Did you ask for it?
it?
Yeah, I asked for it.
You asked for the
Even
copy of the
cross
statement.
examine also. Yeah, I asked.
And
for
that
the-
has not been done.
That did not.
Fair enough. Before we, do you want to add anything to your case?
Yeah, and sir, I will say that in my case, the stock has been sold at the exchange, which is faceless. I am not aware who is buying my shares. It is online transaction. Even he is elected price rigging and everything. It is not in my control. It is by the force of market, stock exchange. It happens. and I am not able, I have no control on that.
Point taken. Before we hear the learned DR, bench has two questions for you,
Okay.
and I would request you to address. I'm sorry I'm bothering you too much, but because it is assessee's appeal, and because some facts are which is not 100% digestible to this bench, there are two things. This assessee was never indulged into any transaction for a long period of time, right from Ashwamedha till today.
Yeah.
And so, why do we not consider this? And something which has happened, some abnormal profit has been generated. Is
Okay.
it not an adventure in the nature of trade?
Surely, sir, it should not be.
If it is an adventure in the nature of trade, it will not be under Section 1038. So, my first, I would like to address you first on this adventure in the nature of trade. And second, are you aware of one recent decision where the Supreme Court, in case of one Suman Poddar, has said that some facts were narrated and that matter has been decided against the assessee. So, how would you like to distinguish your case vis-a-vis that case?
Surely, sir, first I will go for this adventure in the nature of trade.
Yes, please.
I will surely, I would like to take a note of that. The intention behind investing was capital gain dividend. There was no intention of any trade sort of. And he was regular in dealing in shares. Then he stopped it. Then after he again decided to invest. So there was never an intention of doing business in the, and it was shown as investment in the balance sheet also. It was never shown as a stock in trade.
So, the book results are final. We should accept that. Whatever you write in your books of accounts.
So generally the books are to be a prime evidence, first evidence to show the intention of
After
the.
these years, in the subsequent year, you have invested in share market
Yeah, surely, sir. I have invested.
regularly.
Yeah. Thereafter, I am.
Any reassessment pending for those years?
Huh?
Any reassessment pending for those years?
No.
So, subsequent year, all your gains.
Subsequent year, I have luckily not invested in penny stock.
In a year, you are saying it is penny stock.
What the AO is telling? What AO is telling? What AO is telling? Not I am telling, but it's termed as a penny stock. But
So you are not lucky that much to that magnitude as in this year, in the subsequent year.
Okay, anyway, please proceed. So, we are on adventure in the nature of trade.
Yeah, so surely, sir, I would like to bring
Second
your
point.
notice that it's a capital.
So, you are saying it is a capital gain.
Yeah, the intention behind it was capital gain.
About Suman Poddar, which my brother is asking.
Yeah. So, as regards Suman Poddar, my case and Suman Poddar case are not the same because I will just like to distinguish in the way. Sir,
If you are in want of some time, we'll hear the DR first and then we can come back to
sure,
Suman Poddar.
that can be.
We'll give that.
You can help him in Suman Poddar.
Yes, please. Yes, DR. We will hear you on Suman Poddar. Subject to that, you may please complete your arguments.
Your Honor, in the interest of justice, I would just like to mention that there is a CBDT circular which says that the period of holding is more than 1 year, and the assessee has claimed it as capital gain, then it is not up to the revenue to write out that.
So you are saying his case is covered by the circular.
Sorry?
You are saying his case is covered by the circular.
No, I am saying that I cannot doubt it as an assessing officer, and therefore it cannot be adventure, and therefore it has to be capital gain.
You are saying it cannot be adventure in the nature of trade.
I am just.
You are being fair to the.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. Point well appreciated.
We appreciate it.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that this information has been received from the investigation department, and as you are aware that what the investigation department does is that it puts years of efforts into unveiling all these rackets that are going on, like bogus purchases, penny stocks, etc. All these are very well crafted by very well educated people in the industry who are very well aware of the market situations, and therefore it is a very well concealed procedure, and therefore they are always going to have all kinds of documents. After 4 years, when we reopen the assessment, they say that their evidences have become weak and therefore they cannot provide us this and that. But in these kinds of cases, they will provide us with every single document relating to the transaction.
So if they are providing, what is the problem?
I am just telling you that just because they have provided me with all the documentary evidences does not establish their genuineness.
So if you are saying that normally they are not providing, in this case they are providing.
Yes,
So
Your
on the
Honor.
contrary, this case should be seen on a better facts than that.
I am not on that, Your Honor. I am just trying to say that just because they are providing us with the documentary evidence cannot directly lead to the genuineness of the transaction. What I am trying to say
Your case is that all those documents are fabricated and preserved.
yes, Your Honor, exactly that.
So what are the efforts made by the EU to prove that they are not correct documents?
Yes, Your Honor. Investigation wing has given me a report where they have carried out a detailed investigation of how all these rackets function. First of all, which this being a totally different business of the assessee is engaged in the business of chemicals, and therefore he has no connection as such with the markets. And what he is investing in is money multiplier limited and some Ek Ka Das limited, Your Honor. This is completely fabricated. All of these are very well arranged tax avoidance agreements is what I would like to submit. Secondly,
Are
the
you looking
second,
GAR? Are you looking GAR by any chance?
no, the 3 crores is, Your Honor, the
Because EU is not invoked.
secondly, it cannot be invoked. The quantum is lesser than the GAR application. Secondly, I would like to say that the second company, Ek Ka Das Limited, the director has himself given a statement or note that he was involved in the price rigging and that he did it for certain percentage of commission. And therefore, this is the investigation on my part. The assessing officer has relied on a detailed investigation of somebody else and applied his own mind to come to a conclusion that this is a case of clear penny straw.
Now, about the statement, why it was not given to the AR, the assessee?
Your Honor, if you could see, please see the facts submitted before the CIT appeal by the assessee himself. It is stated that the income tax office, that the assessee was summoned to the income tax office and statement was recorded. Even the assessee statement was recorded.
Assessee statement was recorded, but the statement of the director who is saying that I am doing it for 2% commission.
Your Honor, we asked the,
Principle of natural justice, section 142(3).
Your Honor, those, I apologize, Your Honor, we could not provide it to him.
You need not apologize. We'll decide the matter on that one.
Okay. Secondly,
You want to submit secondly?
Senior DI is always permitted.
Thing is, he is telling me the cross condition of not offered and not given the statement, etc. This is not true to the fact. If something is there during the statement, he should have told me. Because when the assessee was taken the statement, he didn't give any details.
You didn't ask for the statement, learned AR?
Then he should ask me to give the statement.
AR, did you ask for the statement? He's saying you never asked for the statement.
Then if it is asked, let him either show me the paperwork or then after that he asked for it. Then I'll get it verified from the case record.
No, we are deciding this matter today. It is already long pending matter. 10 adjustments have been
Then
made.
this statement clearly says that I have given the full opportunity.
He's saying full opportunities have been given, and you are contending that the copy of the statement
You
has
ask
not
for the process, which can be verified from the assessment record.
been. Fair enough. So please file that document which you have asked,
Yeah.
File the document by tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
That will decide fate of your matter. Please understand.
Your Honor, the assessee was summoned to our office and he could not explain as to why he bought all these shares. We asked them that what was the thought process before buying these small amount of shares. And in such a small period, if they are going to such big numbers, then something is really wrong with these shares. Secondly, this is not just a suspicion, Your Honor. I specifically, as an assessing officer, made questions to the assessee stating that why he chose this share. He had no answer to it. He has not been of a background where he is continuously investing in shares. I asked him whether he was under some tips or under some information because of which he bought such shares, but no such information was available from the assessee. Secondly, these shares, the second company, Your Honor, Ek Ka Das Limited, these shares have been bought in the physical form in Kolkata. He has travelled all the way to Kolkata to buy these shares of 1 or 2 rupees at their face value in physical form, Your Honor. all these things just corroborate the investigation department's investigation wing's investigation, Your Honor. And then there is no other trading in the year in the next years, Your Honor. Factually incorrect data has been stated before the bench.
There is no trading.
There is no trading, Your Honor, before this year and after this year, Your Honor. Secondly, this cannot, this kind of a raise in the shares, Your Honor, cannot just be a stroke of serendipity where I just invest in these shares and in just 15 months they have grown like 80 and 60 times of my investment value, Your Honor. All this is very well crafted arrangement wherein they are all in.
Point
This is
taken.
an open secret, Your Honor.
Point taken. I will just like to ask one question to you. To the DR, any of the DRs can answer, to the department in general. If the assessees are getting the advantage of the market price going high for whatever reason, and as long as your investigation, the SEBI investigation is not pointing towards the assessee specifically or the assessee's broker specifically, how far would we be justified in not allowing their claim in as much as the documents have been given to you? And just because you are saying that some supernormal profit has been earned, now, you know, if I am having something in my hand and I am selling it because the market has moved, would it be that I am the criminal?
Your Honor, in these
How all the assessees can be put to the disadvantage because he has taken just the advantage of the market movement?
Your Honor, just
So
one
if
small
anyone
fact.
can address.
One small fact, in these kinds of company, there are just 1 or 2 tradings per day. Very few number of tradings.
volumes are
all
not
under,
good.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All under the control of the actual entry operators, Your Honor. Nobody, you and I cannot just go and buy these shares, Your Honor. It will not be available only. All these are always on upper circuits, Your Honor. You cannot just buy it like that. Unless it is you are a part of this conspiracy, you cannot enter into such kinds of trades.
Point taken.
Can I add something?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, the ingenuity of the transaction is at the ab initio, it's in the beginning only. If you see the purchase of money multiplier, it is purchased in cash. That means
Yeah, that
it is
will
not
not-
traceable.
will
That is
not-
not traceable. First of all, you purchase in cash and it is a preferential allotment. Then it gets listed. Then it comes to the demat account. Once it comes to the demat account, immediately it gets sold. And
You noted the
Your Honor, this points clearly that this is the ingenuine transaction. The genuinity is what is proved that it is not genuine. That is where the 68 is in of the matter. And the similarity to the other company also, where physical shares were purchased in some Calcutta-based company, and if the investor, so-called investor, is not aware what company it is and what the balance sheet looks like, and if you open the balance sheet, there is no income at all, and even it has got huge reserves. Those reserves are also 5 years instead of cash and security premium only. And all these facts supported by the investigation made proves one point, Your Honor, that these transactions are ingenuine. They are not genuine.
We will consider.
Have you assessed those companies? The status of assessment of those companies?
That is done in Kolkata, Your Honor. We are not tracing it, and 90% of these companies are not traceable. Neither the directors are traceable, nor the company is traceable as of now. During the after the investigation, during the investigation, only some of the directors were found out, and their statements are recorded. Other these companies are not traceable. And there is in one address there could be as much as 100 to 200 companies are registered in one address. That is how the scheme is worked out. At the so-called, as honorable member rightly said, Kolkata companies.
Your Honor, in these kinds of cases, a lot of investigation and a lot of money goes into unveiling of such kind of cases. And once such
So
kind
we
of
recognize the efforts of the department.
Yes, Your Honor, because
But
of some procedural intricacies, such type of claims.
We will consider. We'll consider. Are you through with your Suman Pudar's answer? Just in 1 minute. We'll not spend more time. We are already running short of time. Just in 1 minute, if you can sum up. Or we'll consider at the time of passing the order. If you can, yeah, 1 minute. Yes, please, please.
As it was said by the learned DR that the documents are which is not coming out of.
We are not on it. That we'll consider. We are asking only about the pointed question about Suman Pudar.
In Suman Pudar, there was in the statement of the investigation there was a name of Suman Pudar.
Her name was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in our case, there is no direct or indirect link of the investigation.
Name was not.
And the name was not.
Okay.
That is what I would like to distinguish.
Any other distinction? Yes.
So then I want to distinguish that in the case of money multiplier, there was a SEBI inquiry has been launched, and against the company, and only for that period it was bought. Still the multiplied listed, and still his trading has gone to this 2 rupees. So it is not the period that
Suspension was temporary during that period.
Yeah, no. And in case of Ekadas, there was no inquiry by SEBI or BAC. So this is the major. So even the still both the companies are trading in this thing. Still trading is going on. So it is not the thing. Only some directors has done facilitate something. It does not amount to me and my.
That cannot be generalized to all the
all the
transactions.
transactions.
Heard. So all the cases are over now. So should we continue the same pattern? The dias we don't need to change. I think we will continue. We will conclude. So first of all, before the last part of the discussion, first of all, hearty compliments to all the sides, all the ARs and DRs. They have done a wonderful job. And a few times, yes, of course, because in courtroom also this happens. Actually, many a times we put some word in their mouth in this whole.
Concluded the bench.
We have concluded the bench. The bench is concluded. We'll be seated again. So in actual, so in actual situation also this does happen. Actually, many times when you are posed with such a sudden question from the bank, you try to cover up whatever you can, but it is difficult at times. So the answer lies in probably studying your case very well before you go to the hearing. That is the first and foremost thing. You need to do that. So with that, I think we'll end up in 5-10 minutes. I'll just deal with some of the things which I feel is relevant. May not be always true. Whatever is my observation, whatever is my thinking on that. So first is study the case very well, as we said. So first and foremost, they have tried very well. They have explained the many things very well. Some decisions they have missed out somewhere, so we try to support them. But if you are prepared with the case, also be prepared with the other party's argument, which is likely to come up from that side. So that is first and foremost. If you are having some idea about what the other person will say, then probably you will have a better footing. You'll be having a much comfortable situation because when the bench asks the question, it is slightly uncomfortable. Fear is also there, and some anxiety is also there. At the back of the mind, the calculation is that yes, I want to save my client from this demand. So that all problems are there. So better be prepared well in advance. That is first and foremost. Go through the correspondence. Many times the CIT appeals, when you are at a CIT appeal stage or even at ITAD, the correspondence between the assessee and the department is very crucial. Like for example, in 148, one of the case where probably we said that whether this is a change of opinion. Now she was able to say that yes, Radha said that yes, this 48 was specifically discussed. Now, if as a counsel, if you are not studied that particular correspondence between the assessee and the department, you will not be able to authoritatively say at that point of time itself, because many times this query comes up and immediately you have to reply. So your mind frame should be very clear. What were the questions? What were the correspondence between the two sides? Very, very important to be done, right? If at all you are appearing before CIT appeal or even for tribunal, if you want to have some note with you, the written submission before the CIT appeal, normally we file always submission. But before tribunal also, if you are having some note with you, say for example, the question was posed to the AR in this case that how about distinguishment between Suman Podar's case. Now thereafter he searched and replied something. But if at all, it would have been better if if in a real life situation, if you are appearing and you are anticipating this type of question which can come up, prepare a small note on the distinguishing feature and keep it ready with you. Give it only if it is asked. Otherwise, don't give it. That is fine. But if it is asked, you are ready with the answer that you can give it across. Of course, paper book filing is not permitted as stated by Devendra in earlier session. But paper book is about evidence. The distinguishment, the charts, etc. If you are explaining some GP charts, etc., that can be filed across the bench. And normally the benches will permit. Normally it will be permitted. Of course, not that some of the benches may say that why you are not filed in paper book. But of course, these are not evidence. These are explanation probably. So it can be certainly filed. So prepare a detailed communication if at all, some note if you are comfortable, right? Whenever there is an additional evidence, I think I don't know whether Devendra covered because for some time I was away. So in the paper book, if you are filing an additional evidence before tribunal for the first time, then you need to have a separate paper book. It cannot be going in the same paper book. You have to have a separate paper book. And similarly, when you are filing before a CIT appeal, you have to make one application under Rule 46A. So please take care of that. Filing of paper book is very important, right? And alternate pleas, please raise alternate pleas, because many a times alternate pleas are helpful to you to come to the desired result. If not 100% result, at least some desired result will be there. So don't be shy of taking alternate pleas. Many a times it is possible that if your first thing doesn't work out, say for example in a reassessment, on validity of reassessment it doesn't work out, it can work out on merits at least. So please don't be shy of that. You will have to work hard for developing alternate pleas, but then that is something which is expected from a counsel. Second thing, when you decide alternate pleas, also decide which plea will be first, because the biggest weapon should be put up first. Ultimately, if you are taking it as a war, even if you take, if at all you take it, it is not, but even if you take it, right? So your first plea should be the most sharp one, the most strong one, and then later on, without prejudice to that, you can have the others. Don't put the weaker things first. Put the strongest thing first. Say for example, validity of reassessment. In one of the example, I think where we were talking about reassessment and change of opinion, there was one catch in that reasons where it was saying that 2% of the salary of the person is there. So that should have come first. If it is coming, then it would be better. Also, I think probably Radha, you missed out. I would just add, of course, nothing to say that nothing to say about their efforts. They have done commendable job. First of all, let us hear a round of applause for them. All the years in the years have done wonderful job. But just to add something, the JM is of course doing the wonderful job. So one of the catch in that was probably, which probably she didn't notice, was that and I noticed because I have drafted the question. Otherwise, probably I would have also missed out. Is that 143.2 notice was not issued? See, the statement of facts talks about 142.1 notice, doesn't talk about 143.2. So 143.2 is very crucial. We have got Hotel Blue Moon and various other decisions following thereafter, which says that even in reassessment, 143.2 not issued, the reassessment can get quenched. So that is something which if you read the file very well, you will be able to do it. We will answer all the questions. Let me finish.
Some dissent judgment has come, it is not mandatory.
No, 143.2 के ऊपर नहीं आया है. There are decisions under 292BB, but they have said that 143.2 issue is mandatory. Yes, right. So this is how it is. Right. Then one more thing is that many a times we rely only on technical point. Many a times we rely only on technical point, which is very wrong thing. Because say for example, just a loose example which comes to mind is the 271C, the two of the limbs not getting struck off. One of the limb has to be struck off. Now, if you rely only on that, maybe the other side will be able to come out with some decision, or maybe the benches will not be willing to take that. Of course, the decisions are coming both the sides on this point, right? Manjunath Cotton Mill controversy, correct. So don't rely only on technical grounds. Also be prepared on merits, right? On merits also you should be able to defend your case, despite of the fact that the Manjunath Cotton Mill does not help you and the bench is not willing to accept that part of it. So please do that, right? Do not hesitate to take a ground just because one decision is against you. Now many times it happens that one decision might be against. The example of Sumant Poddar. Now Sumant Poddar's case, if one decision is against me, I am worried that how it will happen. So you should not be worried too much about it. Try to distinguish that case. One case is against you, fair enough. Try to distinguish that case and take your through. You sail through the other things which are in your support. So you should know what to speak and when to speak, and when to stop. Also, that is very important, right? So that is how you should do that. Similarly, do not rely on one decision only. That is also very important. Many times we jump on the conclusion only on the basis of one decision. Very dangerous proposition. Once you do only one single decision and you go with that, the members will say we'll distinguish it, and that will be the end of the story. Incidentally, Sumant Poddar's decisions, of course, I'm digressing a bit, but Sumant Poddar's decision nowadays is worrying. So therefore, I'll take 1 minute. That decision is basically dismissal of SLP. It's not a decision of Supreme Court. It is dismissal of SLP, and therefore, dismissal of SLP is not the view of the Supreme Court. Right? It is just there is no doctrine of merger which applies. Please refer to the decision of Pune Mohammed versus State of Kerala for this proposition, where Supreme Court says that dismissal of SLP does not lay down the law of the land. It does not become the law of the land. Therefore, the fear which is there in the mind of everybody that Sumant Poddar's decision has closed all doors, it is not so. It is still distinguishable in my view. If you have anything, Devendra, you can always add whenever you were saying. Right. So, secondly, when you are referring to any decisions, okay, please read the entire text of the decision. Many a times we see that the head notes and catch notes which we see, right? The head notes and catch notes are ultimately prepared by a person like me and you, right? It is not something where it is the judges don't write head note and catch note. They give the decision and that is the end of their job. So thereafter, some professionals like us work on that, prepare head notes and page notes. In the process, it is possible that the person might have missed out some very relevant thing and which emerges from the decision. So if you read head note, sometimes the meaning is different, and when you read paragraph number 32, something different comes out. So please spend some time and read entire text. Keep on marking your things. Keep on trying to relate everything with your case, right? Don't overlook the decision relied on by the other side, the department. In the assessment order, many times the decisions are mentioned by the AO. Also, the CID appeal mentions many decisions. So don't overlook those decisions, because first and foremost, your defense should be strong. If at all, you are posed with a situation where the other side comes up with a decision and you are not prepared at all, then you will have tough time. Rather than that, as a counsel, better would be that those decisions which are in your support, you may read once, but those which are against, you may read 2 times, 3 times, unless and until you are satisfied that how would I distinguish my case with that case. So if you are able to do that, that will be a very good thing. Very small thing, but carry power of attorney. This is very important. Small things, childish thing. Maybe at this stage we are talking to chartered accountants, but yes, many times this happens. When you go to CID appeal, also many times you are not carrying power of attorney. So if you don't carry a power of attorney, the problem is that the atmosphere gets spoiled initially. Thereafter, you may be able to give it on the next day. That is okay. But the first image is always very important. And then you'll say that you are very casual. They will not take you at your face value. The problem starts from there. So please don't commit these small mistakes. If possible, request the client to join you. As far as the matter is connected with fact, client or maybe the AR, some other CA who is briefing you, if at all, then you can tell him, you please join me. Only subject to one condition: when the client comes. If the CA is coming, no problem. But if the client comes, you should also first of all see that the client is having a mental balance, because many times the clients are having the fear and they are already frustrated by the department. So when they go there are two reactions which they do. Either they start begging for it, literally begging for the before the CID appeal, and alternatively they may start abusing. So if a person is a balanced mind person, then you take it. Otherwise, don't take him. Otherwise, then in your before going to the hearing, the meeting which you take place, please understand everything very well and keep it with you. So one of my experience, in my initial days, I was also guided by some senior that request the client to join you. The client came with me, and the first thing when we entered the office of the CID appeal, he just fell into these feet and just said, please, bachalo, bachalo. See, if these type of situations are there, don't take such clients to the CID appeal office, because it will again be sending wrong message that your fact is not good, your matter is not good. So don't do that. Decide depending on the situation. Avoid personal criticism. Never do that. Personal criticism of AO or CID appeal, please don't do that. It spoils the atmosphere, right? Or when you are appearing before the tribunal, don't criticize the DR also. You don't say that DR has argued this, which is ridiculous, he's talking nonsense and all those things. Don't be very harsh in your language, because ultimately he's also doing his duty as a government officer and you are doing your work. So don't take it too personally to your heart.
You can say the same thing in a very polite language.
Yes.
What my learned friend has argued doesn't come out of the record, so he only better knows from where it comes. Let him explain.
Correct, absolutely correct. So be brief and effective. So brief doesn't make that you are not effective. Even if you are brief, if you are able to nail the things in 5 sentences, don't try to keep on elaborating unnecessarily. Because at times, understand, as Devendra said, many of the times, not many of the times, almost always, the benches are having 40-50 matters listed in one day. So if everybody starts spending more and more time, then the patience goes away, of the mindset of the judges go away, and then they start reacting in a very sharp manner. So try to be brief. If your matter is already getting covered, by the points are getting covered, then it is end of the story. Don't be you are not there to prove that you are something great, right? Speak at a slow speed, which the bench is able to understand, but not very slow also. You need to be balanced between the two, right? And how to, when to increase your speed, when to reduce your speed, that will come by way of experience as you proceed. But please do that. Don't cite too many case laws. Many a time it is also seen, when we are very young especially, we feel that I am having 50 case laws in my support, which includes 5 Supreme Court, 10 Bombay High Court and others tribunal. And that also includes 1 SMC Rajkot bench. Now in that case, SMC Rajkot bench has ultimately followed Gujarat High Court, which has ultimately followed Supreme Court. See, if I am on legal principles, I am following Supreme Court. I don't need to cite Supreme Court and Gujarat High Court and then SMC Rajkot, not required. I am citing Supreme Court and that is the end of the story. If I can kill the person by hitting the bullet in his hand head. That's enough. I don't need to again cut his hands and legs. It is not required. Is it not? Be natural. Very important. Be natural. Don't be filmy. Many of people of my age might have seen the movie Meri Jung. Meri Jung, where the Anil Kapoor was there in the court. Anil Kapoor takes up that poison bottle and drinks it. The movie which is there, and also the recent example, Jolie LLB. Jolie LLB, the hopeless film as far as the court proceedings are concerned. The most hopeless film, Jolie LLB, as far as court proceedings are concerned. He keeps on, showing the back to the judges. He keeps on talking rubbish. Here I can. So
creativity है.
वो फिल्मी है. So कहने की बात है, don't be that filmy. Be natural and calm and composed. Don't bang the benches. Don't try to do something which is not expected. Be normal, and then I think your matter will be. Be clear on your facts. The law will take care of itself, right? Prepare paper book. While you prepare paper book, you should be doing it in a consequential order on paper book. Because say for example, one particular document, the flow of my argument is going to be in this fashion. While I am preparing paper book, it will be good if I can also prepare a flow of my argument. Then it will be consequential. Because if I ask him to jump from page number 5 to page number 325 and then come back to page number 201, it will be slightly inconvenient for you also to relate everything together, and for him also it will be very difficult. So ideally it should be in a consequential order, going from page 1 to the page last whenever required. So please do that. And most important thing is that as a young person we always feel that I should speak out everything. Not required. So know where to stop, because where to stop is most important. Start is very easy. To stop is difficult. So if you know where to stop, probably you will be able to do better justice to your client, because many times you speak more things come out which you don't want to otherwise share, and then there is a problem. So when I say that please know where to stop, I should also know where to stop, and therefore I'll stop here. If Devendra wants to add something, just thank you.
Thank you everybody, and it was a really wonderful experience of this. Thanks especially to Ketan Bhai, who has conceived this idea, and
our joint effort. Devendra was also equally to the
definitely. So two announcements. 4th February, 1st February, our finance minister will give her second budget speech, and so 4th February morning 8:45 we are having a budget meeting at Kohinoor Hotel. CATP Oswal and Mr. Ajay Bagra would be the two speakers. So announcement is already there in the book. So all are welcome to attend that session. And on 9th, there will be a second meeting for clause by clause analysis, which will be at Hotel Wits here. So please note the two locations. On 4th February, it will be at Hotel Kohinoor, and on 9th, it will be at Hotel Wits. And now may I request Seema Mehta to please formal vote of thanks to all the participants and the faculty members.
As far as the pronouncement is concerned, all assessed appeals are allowed. Deemed to have been allowed.
कभी डीआर को कॉस्ट लगती है?
डीआर को कॉस्ट नहीं लगती.
नहीं लगती हो.
तो एक पॉकेट से दूसरे पॉकेट में डालने जैसा हो जाएगा.
पीएफ रिलीफ फंड में
नहीं उनको कॉस्ट नहीं लगती, उनको गालियां बहुत पड़ती है. Many a times. Devendra is saying कि कॉस्ट लगती है. I stand corrected.
कॉस्ट लगता है. In my case, I told the cost मुझे देता है तो the award comes.
हाँ, correct.
Bombay Code imposed recently in one case Bombay High Court imposed cost and told that to recover from that concerned commission.
Yeah, that is like create करने को बोला.
Oh, okay. But that might be very very rare situation. Very rare situation. Yes, please. Yeah.
It is my great pleasure to present vote of thanks to all the faculties for presenting mock tribunal with the help of various case laws. It's a great effort done by all the faculties to show the actual court proceedings at the tribunal. Thank you, Advocate Devendra Jain, for explaining the culture and code words at the tribunal and for the role of junior judge. Thank you, C. Ketan Vajani ji, for coordinating the mock tribunal and playing the role of senior judge. Your guidance will be helpful to the members. Thank you, CA Nimesh Chodhani, Advocate Radha Apne, CA Dinesh Poddar and CA Haridas Bhat ji for taking the part and make the members aware of the tribunal working. This is the first time Devinagar has conducted the mock tribunal in the study circle. Members are really benefited and now can make the attempt to appear before the ITAT. I, on behalf of the American Study Circle, respect all the members to carry virus, laws of us and give value over to the faculty.